So the drill is for my partner to hands-on or coming into hands-on, she's stepping and pushing. Pretty straightforward, and we'll just repeat that a few times. The first thing I want to make sure that I'm doing, which might mean you making sure your partner is doing, is that I don't step too long and narrow, okay, so that I might end up kind of wobbly this way. And I don't want to step too late, where I kind of suffer the push. I also don't want to step too small, where if you kept pushing, I actually didn't come into stability. So I just want to step well, that I pretty much stepped as much as I needed to address that amount of force and extension, right? And you're not trying to fake me out by going harder or longer or anything. So this is, working together, that motion. And later you can do the exercise where we each do it. So after she pushes, your hands would come down and I'd push you, wait for me to push though. Okay. So I'm trying to have my body, and she's trying to have her body move with the push, rather than if you resist a moment before you step, you'll feel it's a challenge. And here, I'm kind of, that wasn't really you pushing it. Okay, so in the next part, as she pushes, my hands are going to be coming up. Not the elbows, not the shoulders, not the spirit, not the breath. The breath stays deep. And my hands are coming back. And the way they're coming back is I'm bringing my own hand as if I'm placing it here on my own shoulder, which it won't reach, right? If you try and reach there, it won't quite go there. But you're not bringing it up to your collarbone or like to your guard or to your breast or to the front of the shoulder. You're bringing it back as if it's going to go here on yourself, and it just won't make it there. So facing the camera, instead of here, it's a little bit here. Notice it's not here, it's just here. So the effect on her is that that kind of wedges her open a tiny bit. And the effect then is that she's going to tend to end up a little open and vulnerable, probably chest forward, probably chin up, as you end up kind of opening this way. But since we're not doing this very violently and powerfully, you're probably not going to do it that exaggeratedly. But something for us to notice when we're practicing is, do you feel that tendency to open here, over open here, chin come up a little bit, maybe come to your toes a little bit, and have that sense of vulnerability. So you're going to try this with each other. So Allison and Jonathan and you can switch who's doing it if you want, and then I'll say more after a minute.
Stepping forward.
Push. So start with matched footwork and end with matched. So the rear foot steps forward, and the other person forward foot steps back. And then, as we're doing this, you can just repeat a few times. Jonathan has the easy job. He's just stepping, trying not to, overshoot or step to a poor stance. You're just repeating, offering to her. So often what I'd have here is have Jonathan, keep going, offer feedback, such as he notices that Allison kind of pushed, let's rewind a bit, kind of pushed outward. And at the end, she kind of came down, instead of just return as if you're gonna, right, like your palm over Ganeshaji on that side, right? Yeah, and so his feedback would be important, is that I feel her coming up in her chest, or looking fearful, or holding her breath, or lifting the shoulders first, or leaning, or coming to a poor stance, or adding a different energy. So that was out a little and then back. So we'd want you to give that feedback, because you're in a position pretty easy doing this, and then really watching. Is she breathing poorly? Is she tight? Is something leading? Is she going as a whole body movement? And then she could do it to you and give you the same feedback. Cool? All right, so let me bow you out, and I'll keep going with you, just to switch it up. So we'll just do it a couple times, just to make sure we're on the same page. Good. So then, Jonathan's just going to step back and receive with his body. So the same thing, the timing, but not your arms, so you just let your arms drop. All right, so we can see this as a simple application, which we're not going to blast each other like that, where I receive, I receive, and now I'm on the inside of him. And this short path for me is here. So even if those hands try and get to where they solve it, it's going to be hard to. So if you give a pretty good push when you step, yeah, a little bit better. Don't over lean, right? A pretty good push. Let me feel like a little like starting a fight kind of energy, just a bit. I got rocked, right? Now I pretty well solved that with my feet, but I really prefer if I get you there, feel?
Yeah.
And then in that moment, of course, here, right? Ideally, as a nice training, depending on how you're working, we'll go slow-mo. But we'd imagine this looks like that last one a little faster. So right as he's still coming forward, right? That's when this lands. This is not here because it's the best place to push him or threaten him or hit him, but it's the best, closest. He's not going to solve that before I get there, right? So I'm here. So I'd love to hit him here, hit him there, but that point A to point B as the crows fly is so straightforward. So if I can get him rocked there, it starts to pay off. So this could be done in a real sort of linebacker sense where he crashes into me and I need to solve this well, and then maybe crash into him and you just solve it with your body. You don't get to do this stuff. And then we could switch and you have the chance to do my side. Okay? So, let me borrow you. I'll build on that. Thank you, sir. Okay. So, thanks. So we'll set up just like we've been doing. So she steps and pushes. And we're just resetting because maybe we forgot what we were doing or too far apart or whatever. 1. So then you'll step back and receive. Right, and that'll feel weird just to drop your hands, but it's a drill. So sorry about that, we can just go from there. 1, 2. Okay, so let's start again. 1, 2. So what I'm going to do now is I'll just let you keep your arms up because you don't need them down, you don't need them up. The reason I had you drop it is so that in your mind you know it's just your body, your legs, your hips. 1, 2, just keep them more or less where we got them to. Okay. If we had let you keep them there, you'd probably start to want initially to try and do something with them. But since we've established that, and if you can when you're teaching it, you can keep them up from the beginning. The reason that we want them up is that I'm going to be coming in like this, and now my palm can come to the neck, which we can imagine could be a pretty good shot. And I'll do it on this side because of the camera. The palm on the neck, and then the thumb bisecting the jawline, so in the middle of the cheek-ish, right? So watch my weight shift. 1, I'm forward. I want to make sure I stay forward here and here. Now, when this turns, it turns my body. So as I come forward here, I'm here. So of course we can imagine this is a hit to the neck, which is a pretty nice thing to do, by which I mean not nice at all, but cool, right? So I end up in this kind of T-Rex kind of position. My wrist is near my breast. I have a grip on the wrist, in this case kind of a hook, I'm not making it too specific here. And we'll start again. So 1, 2, 3. And I feel like I have a lot of control here, so we're going to do 2 different things from here, and we'll build on this. I'm on the forward leg, my weight stays there, this stays in, and like a, what is it called, a compass? The metal pokey thing and the pencil, right? The mechanical compass, the stylus. So this is the stylus and this is the pencil. And we're just going to describe a circle. You can step with this, walk with it. No, walk, don't lean. Just walk, 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 go, right, like that. So we end up kind of that sort of motion. Notice that the point of the stylus didn't really change. Right? That was good because I didn't want you to trip on the corner of the mat. So we'll start at the top. 1, and even there you feel like your back heel came up, your chin came up, your chest came forward, and that should feel crazy vulnerable, right? So moving her, boom, and now I'm just turning, and this is swinging, and that should start to feel horribly vulnerable too, like if I wanted whatever I wanted to do, okay? So we'll do it one more time, and then I'll do the other version of Jonathan. 1, 2, and you can imagine I can throw you in all kinds of fun stuff. So I'll do it on this side just for the camera, sorry about that. So 1, 2, and I'm right there. So don't move yet, I just want the camera to see. Just handshake to the neck. Here, and that should be here. So this thumb in particulars could be eye, could be temple, could be mind point, could be the end of this large intestine, could be in the ear, it could be doing stuff like this. I'm doing something in specific for my partner here, but it's also a threatening weapon. This is like having a gun on somebody. I could change exactly what I wanted to do in the situation. But for my partner, this keeps her jaw stable and keeps my thumb safe as we move around. I didn't want to like mistakenly do that kind of thing. So this sort of T-Rex, kind of like chamber, it's like just in here, and I'm just keeping the weight here and just turning, and then she has to move fairly fast with that challenged arm for me to whatever I'm going to do. So the more fun part, why are we randomly on the mats?
Oh my.
Sure, I'm sure it's fine. So we'll just build again. So, boom. And this is, we practice this a lot, and then Jonathan would call me on things like the shoulders came up first. I really kind of leaned back. I sort of did outward pushing, right? I came back and then I added down energy. I brought my shoulders too far back and the breast out, right? I didn't have a good stance. He'd be giving me that good partner feedback, assuming I'm doing it well so we can just keep teaching. I'm gonna do the drive you back. Boom. Let me drive you back so you're practicing feeling that and solving it with your feet, right? That's good push hands practice. Here. So all I'm gonna do, I'll let you feel what I did to Allison for a second. Just good. All I'm gonna do is change this, like so. So we'll let you feel what I did in Allison one more time because it was just once. 1, 2, just walk along. Okay, good. I'm just going to change that T-Rex side of things. 1, 2, 3 to this. And then leading him around is a whole different story, right? And this is just palm, right? And of course palm is a step out, and then in palm, and then cross crow still. Okay? Got it? You want to see it one more time, you think? Do it from the other side. Receive, hit, turn, and then I'm just rotating this so that as he moves around, his elbow stays in place, which really scares and tangles him.